Okay, so we're gonna try to get the wing feathers attached to the wing, and I got a few feathers in here. If this works like I think it will, then I'll go ahead and add in the rest, and we'll drive these feathers. But for now, I'm actually just going to hide. Well, I won't hide them yet. But for now, we're not going to connect these. We're gonna end up using hair, uh, and we'll use those curves to end up driving these feathers. Okay, so far in our rig, what we've got is we've got a tendon in the wing, and that can be very useful. So there's the front edge. And there's the back edge. Okay, so we've got this tendon here. And it turns out all these feathers plug into this tendon in the wing. So what we can do is let's look at this. We'll look at this tendon. So we need to look at its UV space. So there it is. Right here. I didn't actually expect that to be laid out yet. If it was not laid out, then you would have to do a UV planar projection and lay out the UVs for that tendon. Okay, and that will be very important because the way Maya uses hair is it places what's called a hair follicle, or a follicle in UV space for that object, and that's how it determines where it's at on the surface of the geometry. So what I am going to do, actually no, I'm not going to move it because I'll introduce history if I do that. So with that there, let's just minimize that for now. Minimize that, go back into object mode. And we're going to start by creating some hair. So we go to in hair, create hair option box. Okay, and we set this back to default. And so we've got a few settings in here. We don't want to use paint dynamics. We want to use NURBS curves. And this is going to take a few tries. We want the U and the V count. Okay, so we need to edit these attributes. Let's change the U count to, let's leave that at 8 for now. We'll see. And we'll set the V count to 1. So keep in mind, and the problem is I can't remember which is U and which is V in the UV space. I can't remember if this, I think this is U and this is V, but we're about to find out. Okay, we need to count the number of faces there are, or actually more importantly, we need to count the number of feathers that we would have. But I'm just going to do a follicle or one hair per face for now, but normally you would want one per feather. So that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I'm going to set my U count to 20. And I want these to be dynamic. We're going to put them inside of a new hair system. Okay, and let's click apply, see what happens. So we don't have any follicles on there. So the problem is they're probably at the 50%. The problem is, my guess is it tried to place them right here across the center. And my UVs don't exist there, right? So it doesn't know where to draw them. So I have to go through and change all those. So I'm going to go to my hypergraph. And I will have had a whole bunch of nodes created here. Or not. It didn't create them. Okay. So let's figure out why. So to undo this, we can just delete all this. It actually created all of these nodes. Okay. So we'll delete all those hair system nodes in the nucleus. And we may have to edit the UVs. So let's select the tendon. We'll go to UVs, and I'm going to select these UVs, just the top row of them, and I'm just going to stretch them up to the top. And this doesn't have to be real precise. Okay. Now with that done, go back into object mode. And we'll go to our create hair. Let's try it again. Okay, that time it worked. So I was right. The UV space does run across. The U space runs across the bottom, and the V space is up and down. So now we have all these hairs. Okay. And if I go to my dynamics shelf, or my in hair, if I click play, nothing's going to happen because these hairs, I guess, are just too stiff. So, oh, actually nothing happened because I don't have enough time on my timeline. Okay, so let me up this to say 200 or 2000. Okay, and there they go. So that's way too floppy, yeah. So here's how you control hair. So if you rewind time, it'll go back. And what we need to do is, if we go to our hypergraph, and we've got all these extra nodes now, right? This was all created. All these and their children were created with that hair system. Don't let it intimidate you. What this is, these are what they call the start curves. This is where the curve begins. Okay, and there's, for each start curve, there is a result curve or an output curve. Okay, so this curve 2 right here is going to be the output curve. Well, the curve 1 is hidden, so we could show it, which I guess I will. See if I can't get them all at once. Okay, and I'll hit Shift H. See if that works. This is new. They didn't used to hide these. So let's probe around, and oh, I didn't mean to start ZBrush. There we go. So ZBrush is going to come up here in a second. So I selected the hair system,